are you dreaming about these white sand beaches here with the emerald colored water and that laid back lifestyle, but you don't want to pay that Destin price tag? Here in Navarre, this might be the place for you. This is absolutely gorgeous here, as you can see here behind me. What we're gonna do in this video is break down the numbers of living. So the cost of living here in Navarre, here in the midway, halfway, actually more than halfway through 2025. Now, I am a local who has lived here and knows this market. And I'm gonna break down all the costs that you're gonna need to know so you don't walk into surprises like a lot of people do. We're gonna go all the way from housing to utilities to groceries, commuting, and what the real numbers look like in order to have access to this, right? Not only this, but an exclusive home tour that you can see that's right around the average budget that you're gonna find for a bigger type home that you'll find here within 5 to 10 minutes of this beach that I'm literally standing at right now. So let's go ahead and break down the real cost of living in Navarre right now. All right, so let's go ahead and break down the different types of homes that you can get here in Navarre. So like you can see back here, we have some villas, townhomes. We also, as you can see behind here, have beachfront condos, right? And of course, we have our single family homes, over on that side, across the intercoastal waterway into actual Navarre, which we'll go over here in just a moment. When we talk about our villas and townhomes, what you're gonna be looking at is, it's kind of nice because it's a little bit lower priced. The HOA is typically lower, at least much lower than these guys, right? But some of these communities are gated and they are planned communities. There's a really nice one that we have with a new development where they put in Starbucks, Buffalo Wild Wings and everything else in Navarre. And it was a big old apartment or villa complex that they put there. So pretty impressive, and they continue to build out more of these as well. Now, if you're looking not on Navarre Beach, most of these villas are gonna be somewhere around, you can get them as low as $275 to $375 for these townhomes. Now, to be quite honest, if you're gonna be looking at something down here or something that's a little bit more new, you're still gonna be looking around that $400 to even upwards of $700 down here on the beach. And guys, if you want real prices, just reach out to me and my team. We can get you set up on some real alerts and figure out exactly what you're looking for. Now, addition to, we'll just pan over here and we got these beautiful condos, right? These beachfront condos. Now, if you've been to other places in South Florida or even around here in Panama City Beach or even certain parts of Destin, it seems like it's condo city. But here in Navarre, it really just they don't have that many. And that actually goes to the relaxed beach atmosphere that you're gonna find here. And most of the traffic coming down here to the beach isn't necessarily, people coming down here for vacation. A lot of it's some of us locals coming out to check out the beach. I said earlier, there are fewer of these developments. There's not a whole lot of newer construction that's in here. But most of the time, these condos, they're all gonna be here beachfront or pretty close to. We got a couple that aren't exactly on the beach as well. Now, you're gonna be looking at HOA fees somewhere around $300 to $600 a month, depending upon what complex you're gonna be in. And some of these prices, they could get as low as around $350, but really you're looking at $650, $700, if not more. So down towards the end, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's a Beach Colony Resorts. And Beach Colony there, good luck trying to get into anything under 800,000. And that's kind of baseline. Most of these things that are really, really nice, you're talking like the 2-3 bedrooms are gonna be pushing close to that $1 million mark. And it's just kind of how it goes. I will tell you though, if you are in the condo market, it's actually really, really good right now for buyers, just because the market for condos here in specific pockets have really gone down. But really the big differences here are gonna be HOA fees, the maintenance fees and things like that. Other things that you need to be concerned about here on Navarre Beach is really the flood insurance, right? Now, almost everything is going to be built on stilts if it's not a condo itself. And the reason is this is in a floodplain. Another interesting note too, is that you don't actually own the land here when you purchase here on Navarre Beach. This is actually a 99-year lease. that they have with the Air Force Base. And I think you're gonna be good. We're still leasing it from them, you know, to build some of this stuff out. The only time that they're gonna recall that is if we get into World War III. So as long as you're all right, you know, risking that, then you should be good to invest down here. Again, if you have questions about this, give me a call, text, you know, jump on a quick call, or if you're looking to actually invest in one of these things, let me know. But let's go ahead and bounce over to the single family homes and see what those prices look like as well. So as we were talking about earlier too, when it comes into single family homes, it's not just going to be around that $600,000 mark. I mean, for something that big, that's what you can anticipate. But what I would definitely say is that most of these are going to be around $450,000, $550,000. That's going to be your average price. You can get in around $300,000, but $300,000 to $500,000 is what you're going to look for. Utilities are going to be around $220 to maybe $250 per month for your average 3-bedroom home that you don't keep, you know, as cold as Antarctica all the time. That whole fee that I'm talking about includes, of course, your energy, your water, internet, and waste disposal out here. So I would just tell you that without a plan purchasing out here, it's easy to overpay and to pass on some really great opportunities, especially now in the market that we're in 2025. My goodness, there are some opportunities. So if you want that local guidance, you'll know exactly what to expect if you have an expert on your side. So feel free to message me, give me a call, shoot me a text, and we'll make your transition into paradise, whether you're an investor or looking to move here full-time or even part-time, the best way we possibly can. So next we're going to talk about groceries. What are some different places? We're sitting out here outside of Aldi's, which actually was one of the newer grocery stores that came into Navarre. However, we've also saw Publix and Winn-Dixie that came in here before. Now, a couple of videos ago, that if you look at our video history, definitely go check that out. You'll see us in front of the Publix. And if you haven't been into a Publix before, you're in for a treat, especially if you try their subs. Although Aldi's is great too, because one of the things I personally noticed was that produce was always an issue to get around here. And Aldi's really does have you covered with that, so for some fresh produce. Now, what it will tell you overall is that Navarre's grocery stores are about 14% below the national average when it comes to affordability for groceries. Now, this is compared to just the national average across for everybody here in the continental United States. So let's just say that you're a single adult. How much is it going to cost you living in Navarre for groceries? Well, it depends. If you're not eating out too much around here, you'll be looking around a cost around $300 to $350 per month. And that's pretty conservative. Well, that's not that conservative, but you get the point. If you are going to have a family of 4, it's going to be around $900 to $1,200 per month. Now, you're shopping at places that are a little bit more discount. You can get in these range if you like really nice things. Obviously, the price was going to increase, but there are some saving tips that you can find out here. Some of which are things like Six Brothers, the farm, grocery outlet, and different places like that you're going to find in the Navarre area. Now, Aldi's in the local market here does offer some of the great deals, which is why we're standing outside of it here today. Have different options for eating healthy without overspending. So what we're going to do is go ahead and walk through here and go ahead and check this out. So if you are going to be shopping during the season, some things to check out are definitely going to be like March through May. You're going to have that spring harvest that you're going to see coming out here, which usually means lower prices for produce. That 4th of July week, of course, we got holiday prices here for anything really associated with barbecue, snacks, party goods, you got it, right? August through September is more of that back to school that you're gonna see, the summer clearance sales. And of course, November through December, holiday discounts, especially since we're not in the tourist season at that point. So we're gonna see a lot lower prices come around here. So that Publix, Winn-Dixie, that buy one, get one deal is gonna see a lot more. And you typically see a good amount of these anyway. So guys, if you do have any questions so far, please send them in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. And let's get a conversation going to see what we can do to help everybody else here that's trying to move. And of course, answer any questions that you got. But if you are looking to move over here, you got some questions, need some help, guys, go ahead and give us a call or text. We got your back. All right, let's talk about transportation, right? So if you're going to live in Navarre, having a personal vehicle is essential. Like it's needed pretty much to live out here. Just because there's not a whole lot of options other than that to get around. You're probably looking around $200 to $300 a month, depending upon what sort of vehicle that you have, for payments just for gas. If you're going to be, going out to Hurlburt Field or going into Destin or Pensacola, then obviously you're going to have to adjust for that. Now parking's nice here because it's not overly developed. There's not a whole lot of places that you have to pay to park. I can't actually think of one off the top of my head where you have to pay to park, which is awesome, right? You're going to have free parking mostly everywhere that you go. Now, there are some other different things to consider too. So if you don't have a vehicle, or maybe you've had a little too much and don't want to drive, which I totally respect, you can absolutely get Lyft or Uber. Those do exist out here and they're pretty prevalent. They are kind of hit or miss in Navarre. If you're out during a night where most people are out, then like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then you're probably going to find some drivers that come get you. But if it's kind of an off hour, Uber and Lyft drivers may be sporadic. So you may be waiting. One of my good friends, we joke because he lives in that space between Navarre and Fort Walton Beach in Mary Esther, and we call it the black hole of Ubers, because the only thing that we can hope for is if somebody, stops with us or is transitioning after dropping somebody off to pick you up. So certain times we've kind of figured out when we should be ordering Ubers and not. Now, there is paratransit there is paratransit and on-demand transportation too. Now, what I mean by this is it's the Santa Rosa County door-to-door transportation, and it's for eligible residents, right? So those are going to be seniors, people with disabilities, things like that. Prices are going to be just based on eligibility. So that's the best I can tell you with that one. But talking about biking and walking, depending upon where you're at, most places around here aren't going to have a good walkability score. Now, there are some places where we've had some apartments and townhomes that are pretty close to some things that you could walk to, and the shopping centers and things like that, and actually is decent for walkability. But for the most part, not so much. There's not a whole lot of sidewalks around here. That's a frustration I could definitely attest to. There's not a whole lot of sidewalks around in the neighborhoods, right? But traffic isn't terrible on most of the streets back in Navarre, so I'm not overly concerned with it. But there are some bike lanes that are built onto the road. I'm on 87 right now, and there's a bike lane to the right of me. So they have them designated for that. And also, there's a whole bike lane available all the way down on Navarre Beach, right? And it goes all the way down until the end of Navarre Beach, and then just turns into the road, right? But there's still about, I want to say, 4 to 6 miles or so. I think it's closer to 4. From the bridge all the way out until the bike path stops. So if you like to run like I do and you're training and you want to go out there and deal with the winds or just like to bike around, it's still a really nice path to go down. Use your Waze app. There's traffic apps specifically for this area, especially right now in 2025 into Fort Walton Beach. They're redoing a bridge, and that's been backing things up all over the place, and it affects a lot of the surrounding traffic. If you want to know more, hear about Navarre, you could check out our channel. We got content all about Navarre. We've also got about Destin, Fort Walton, actually everywhere here on the Emerald Coast. So definitely check it out. It'll be coming up here at the end of this video. And we'd love for you to subscribe. We come out with a video every single week. All right, so we've been talking a lot about today about the cost of living. And now I want to show you actually one of these single family homes that we've been talking about and show you what you can get here in the main part here in Navarre. So what we're gonna do, we're over here on Everglades. This one is 2004 Everglades here in Navarre. I'm gonna show you what we got. We got, as you can see out here, 3-car garage, 3-car, right? And 4 bedrooms. So I know when people are coming out to Navarre, you're looking, hey, we want something that's got a lot of space, bigger lots, things like that, and still have access to everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you in here, and we're gonna go preview what you can get and give you a little example of what we got in Navarre. Come on, let's check it out. All right, so one of the key things that we see when we first step in is we have big open spaces all throughout the home, right? So we are able to really just see this big open concept when you first walk in. Now, a lot of these homes, right, they're gonna have the tile and some probably luxury flooring down. And like this home that was built in 2009, you're gonna have these other rooms, right? So this could be your formal dining, which of course that's what we're seeing here. Big windows, lots of natural light that you're gonna be seeing in here, right? Big open spaces, like this is a huge couch. A huge couch that they have going on in here. And it looks like over here is another, which could be formal dining space as well. Again, big windows in the front that we see. So we got the kitchen. We're gonna go check that out here in a moment. And really the most thing that I'm super excited to show you is the outback area here. And this is a split bedroom design. And what that really means is that we've got the master that we're gonna go check out here in a minute. We've got 2 other bedrooms down this way. And then on the other side, we've got another bedroom there. So that's truly a split. Most of the time we come in here and I get like a couple bedrooms here and they're all in one area. And then on the other side of the house is the master suite. But this one's really split up. So you got, a good divide in age of the kids, or maybe you've got a multi-dimensional family that's here. So you got grandparents, yourself, and the kids in the other room, or whatever it looks like. You actually be able to split up this home pretty well. So let's go ahead and check out the master over here and see what we got for that. All right. As you can see, we got a tray ceiling in here. Now you see some of these other designs and they've actually got the actual trays that are in here, but typical what you're gonna see is you got the ceiling fan, and it just kind of makes the area look that much bigger. Now, this is just a queen size bed, so it looks like it's really spacious in here, which it actually is. And I got the shades closed, but there's a good amount of natural light that comes into here. What you see on the other side of that door is access into the screened-in porch that goes out to the pool, which again, we're gonna show you here in a minute. Now, coming in here to the master bath, this is really cool. So I'm just gonna flip this around so you guys can see just a little bit better, like how big this actually is. Now, most of the time you're looking at it as like, hey, we got just enough that, me and my significant other have enough space in here, but this is actually really a good amount of space for you guys to go in. Now, depending upon who's putting all their toiletries and everything on the counter and who gets what, I mean, that's up to you guys. But this is this is the one feature I really like, is that it's got its own soak-in tub. Now, some of them will be jet tubs, other ones will be a little bit more just kind of like this, what they call a garden tub as well. But it's really nice, and you could really decorate this. It's got some natural light coming in here as well. And the best part here, let's flip this around, is you have your own separate stand-up shower as well. Now, a lot of these are gonna look like this. This is definitely a lot of space. And if you can't notice, like, we've got dual heads in here as well for the shower. So really efficient. Now, there is its own separate place for your commode, as well as a his and hers closet. Now, obviously one is significantly bigger than the other. You guys can tell me whose is whose. I know which one I'd be getting in my household. All right, so just to give you a better picture of what the vanity looks like, but this is a lot of space that you're gonna find inside the home. Okay, let's continue out here. And we're gonna go to the other side of the house. Let's give you just a quick preview here again of the living room area. And they've got those little trays up there. Some people like to call them dust collectors, only because it's hard to get up there. But they did a pretty good job putting this together to make it more open. But again, we're gonna come back and really get into that here in a moment. So let's kind of back out here from the kitchen. You have your own eat-in area. This is actually specifically built in to this. Like, this is built into the wall, and you have your own bench seating all surrounding this. Like, how cool is that? And you have the lovely view of the pool out there. So, you know, I think of this too, and maybe you're entertaining, or maybe it's just a normal Saturday at your house, and you got the kids playing out there, you still need to keep an eye on them, or you got family, friends over, you're still entertaining. And then of course you have the table here coming in for lunch, dinner, whatever, you know, to get out of the heat, because, well, we live in Florida, right? But to get out of the heat, you can serve here from the kitchen that's behind me. Lots of space with that too. Like, this is for entertainment. This is perfect. This is perfect, exactly what you're looking for. You have the outside, which we're gonna show you the areas for grilling and things like that. But, you know, you can kind of see this whole scenario play out. Anyway, let's keep going. All right, so we're going into the other full bath. Now, this one is unique in itself. You know, it's got a standard tub shower combo, as you guys will see here, right? And the nice part is it's got this door, right? And we haven't shown you this, but this is that screened in area that we're talking about, and has access out here to this pool area, which we're gonna come back to, I promise, okay? But this is a big screened in area. And the best part is people with wet feet aren't tracking through the home when they gotta come in here and use the restroom. Pretty cool, right? Okay. So here's the other two bedrooms that we have. So again, this specific one's got redone luxury flooring. It's got your standard closets in here, right? Regular size that you would expect. All right. We can see that this guy's an aviation nerd. I joke because I used to do that too. All right. And here's the other bedroom here, standard size closet like we saw before, but still really decent rooms. Like, this is, that's a queen size bed. I know it's a little shoved to the wall for this, but actually really looks nice. Okay, so before we go into the other bedroom, let's talk about this kitchen, right? So really spacious. I hope that you guys can see that in this video, but this is all that dark stainless that you can see for the microwave, the stove, and the refrigerator. These are all granite, so that's a rock that we got on top for these. Now, it is a little bit darker for the cabinetry, but you know, I kind of dig it, I'll tell you, because the rest of it really has, the rest of the house is basically a certain color of white. And this kind of really makes it stand out. And I love the amount of storage that we have and the island. And there's just tons and tons of counter space. Look at this. Like, no matter how many little knickknacks that you got putting in here, like, you've got all the kitchen appliances everywhere that you could put up here. I challenge you to find enough to put here. If you guys have more, if you guys have more appliances than what can fit on this countertop, please leave it in the comments below, because I really want to know what you guys have that would fill this entire place up. So please let me know what that is. I would love to see that list. All right, but we have the double dual sink here. Whether you're a fan or not, I can't say I'm a big fan of that. I like the farmhouse because I like to clean dishes, right? But I don't like it, but I like the ability to and lay them down in there. And then the lookout here too, to get into the open concept. It's a little mini bar, but access to watch the TV. Maybe you got the game going on here or whatever else is going. And now we can also have people in the kitchen paying attention to whatever the TV is. Now, I'll tell you, for me, big football fan, this is the perfect time for that, because you got disinterested people out there while I'm watching the game, taking care of all the food, entertaining all at the same time. And this is perfect. So anyway, could be perfect for you. Again, just a good sample of what we can find here. So tons of storage. And here's the thing too. Now, if you watch many of my videos, I say the same thing every single time, mainly because I don't want you to make this mistake when you're moving, is check to see if you've got a pantry, all right? I can't tell you how many times that we've looked at rehabbed homes, especially the older homes, like in other towns that have ones that were, or houses that were built in the 50s, and they did the rehab and it looks like 2005, you know? And then you go in there and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. And then there wasn't a pantry, right? There wasn't a place to put the food, right? That has all this thing. And that's pretty nice, you know, it's a decent size. But now you're putting the food in the cabinets. Not that there's not enough here, but you know, you're going everywhere. My wife and I bought a place up in Dayton, Ohio, back in 2020 during COVID, or just before that. And it was nice. It was one of those rehabbed homes until we moved in. And guess what? There wasn't a pantry. So I learned from my mistakes. Okay, so let's continue to move on here. Just one last look. Awesome, awesome. All right, now we're on the other side of the house. Okay, now here's the separate part here. So we've got the laundry room, and that's into our 3-car garage. All right, but I love this because I'm gonna walk out here, and this is, as you can see, this is like a whole separate side of the house. You've got its own separate bathroom. You've got your own entrance basically through the garage and go right into the bedroom here. Like it's basically its own mother-in-law suite. If you really wanted to, you could probably put a door in here that separates it completely. So you necessarily have to do that, but pretty nice, okay? So let's just look at the bedroom. Standard bedroom stuff. Actually looks decent size. A little different closets here, but basically the same that we saw as far as storage was concerned. Yep, and we're good. All right. And then we have our bathroom in here as well. So single vanity. You've also got the tub shower combo in here as well, as you might imagine. And of course, down here you can see it's got the tile that matches throughout into the wet areas, to include the kitchen and into the laundry area. Now this is really nice too, to have this laundry area. And the reason is that a lot of Florida homes, if you're not paying attention, because you're like, hey, this is really good on price, you know, we really love it. And you don't have laundry that's inside the house. Now, I don't know where you guys are from, but I'm from upstate New York originally, and that wasn't an issue necessarily, because I'm like, oh yeah, well, it's in the garage, right? Might be cold out there. Guys, it gets so hot in these garages in the summertime. You really want to have some sort of laundry section, laundry room inside your house, mainly because of that, because it gets so hot, and that heat can really wear down your washer and dryers as well. Not that we see too much of that, but that's just something to keep in mind. So having a washer and dryer inside the house really makes a big difference. So anyway, they've put in a nice area of chop block countertop here, another vanity for some storage. Really cool. All right, so now that we've seen a good portion of this house, again, just looking through this living room one more time, we get to go out back, and I'm just excited to show you this. All right. So this is really nice too. When you look over here, you've got this screened in area. That's a doggy door if you didn't know. Screened in area, which is really nice here in Florida. Why? We got Florida bugs, and they're real. Having those come in, especially when the sun starts to come down, which is usually when you're doing dinner and everything else, to escape that is fine. There's only so much time that you can keep your head under the water to stay away from them. Now, I also suggest getting maybe somebody to come over and spray for mosquitoes and stuff like that, but that's something addition too. But having this is really, really nice. And it allows you to actually enjoy the weather. I don't know, I like the heat here. But it allows you also, because of the overhang and whatnot, to really just get away from the bugs. So anyway, really big open area that we have here. So let's head outside the screened area and brave the bugs. Just kidding, they're not that bad. And this one's specifically really nice. Like, put some pavers down here. Now, this isn't a liner pool, this is goodnight pool, right? Which basically means it doesn't have a liner. But this is a nice little oasis that they've got back here. You'll find some others, and that's a waterfall, by the way. Couldn't figure out how to turn it on. But yeah, this is a really nice place to kind of come out here. You can see that they've got that shallow area here, and you can find a lot of different places that were built like this. This is a good sized lot as well, all right? So I believe this is on a 1/2 acre, 0.46, all right. That's why I keep the sheet on me, guys, just so I don't lie to you. But pretty big size lot. This is standard what you're gonna find here. They got a nice little fire pit out there, storage, and all the different places that you wanna go. Look at that palm tree, right? You got all this different area out here for the family to enjoy, for the pets, whatever's important to you and your family. This one also has a hot tub. Surprisingly enough, yes, it does get cool enough out here to enjoy a hot tub. I know I've been talking about the heat, but it does get Florida cool, okay? That's specific for you northerners. It's gonna seem rather warm, but yeah, it does exist here. But it's nice to have, right? And I also wanted to tell you that there is an area out here now. This is really nice. Like, it looks like they put this together for their grill area, right? It looks like they kind of piece this together. But just to kind of give you an idea what this can look like and what sort of environment you could see. So that's really going to be the conclusion of this house tour. If you guys are curious about this, where this thing is, it is off of Everglades Drive. What was the price point for this? $625,000 for something that is 2,640 square feet. That's with a pool and everything else that you just noticed here, right? The other thing to notice is that this specific home is in the Holly by the Sea community. Now, if you're not familiar with that, the HOA isn't all that much for what you get. Just make sure to keep your property values up, but it's under $600 a year, okay? And it's paid annually, right? I believe this one says it's $565 every year. That's just an annual cost to keep up. But not only that, you do get access to the different amenities down at the rec center, which is on the other side of Highway 98. So you have access to the Intercoastal Waterway. There's a tennis court there. There's a public pool. So if you didn't have one of these pools, you could go down there. It's not public, it's for the residents here. And there's a fitness center. So if you don't want to pay for a membership at a specific fitness center or don't really want to leave the community, there's a really nice one here too. So guys, just some other things to enjoy for these things. If you got other questions, of course, hit us up. And if this is the type of home or something close to it that you're curious about, give us a call, shoot us a text. We can always help you and guide you through that. All right, now that we've gone over the cost of living and we've actually seen inside a home and you can really anticipate what you can expect to pay in utilities and how much it costs to actually live here in Navarre, let's kind of go over some of the figures. So how big is it population-wise? The last census that came out said it was around 41 to 42,000 people here in this area. So now in 2025, it's estimated to be probably closer to 44,000, which still isn't a very big population, but is certainly growing. The infrastructure has definitely supported that. When we look at the cost of living index, we always look on a scale from 0 to 100. However, the 100 is the median average for the entire United States, right? So overall, Navarre sits at 95, which means it's 5% lower than the average across the board. Now, I will say, what is the one thing that's above the national average? It's housing. You're gonna find that pretty much anywhere here on the Emerald Coast, except for maybe Crestview, that you're gonna find these a little bit higher than normal. Truck noises. You're gonna find a little bit higher than normal for homes and affordability. And that's just Florida real estate for you. But some of the big things to really look into is going to be the taxes. Now, we don't have a state income tax here, which is phenomenal. But they do get a lot on the sales tax side. And of course, your property taxes, which isn't terrible in comparison to some other places that I've lived, like New York State. Now, one thing to note too, we really didn't talk about rentals, so I'll just kind of throw it in here. A one-bedroom apartment rents around here about $1,800 or so, which is 13% higher than the national average. So again, housing even on the rental side still is a bit up there. Of course, it's only appropriate that we wrap this video up here on Navarre Beach, where we are currently standing. So we did go ahead and get to see two amazing properties. And of course, we get access to this beautiful beach within 5 to 15 minutes worth of a drive, and Florida's voted most relaxing beach in the entire area. Just know that try to find your own home can really cost you a whole lot of time and money, and a chance to really live in your dream home and having access to this is only a few steps away. Just don't do it alone. Get to a real estate agent to make sure that they know the local area and everything else there. If you don't have one, reach out to us. We can definitely help out. The biggest thing that we can help you do is make sure that you know everything that you need to know, and we'll make this process as easy as possible and as smooth and stress-free as we possibly can. So if you are planning to move down here or just kind of exploring the idea, I've got local insights that the internet cannot show you. I mean it, okay? So shoot us a message, give us a call, be below this video or in the description so we can get that going for you. But don't go away just yet. We got more videos about Navarre and everywhere else here on the Emerald Coast, either appearing here or down here, depending on what device you're on. So maybe this one or this one. Guys, we got 400 plus of these awesome things about everywhere. Which one's next? See you in our next video.